Evening, everybody. I'm very happy to be here to partake in this panel discussion. I'm not prepared with a presentation as such, but then I'd like to share a few ideas on what can help companies to optimize profits. And before I get into some of these ideas, I would like to thank ITP for giving me this opportunity and thank Mr. Raman personally for referring me for this panel discussion and share my thoughts with you this evening. And I was really kind of surprised that there is a forum like ITP, Indian taxpayer. Okay, the Indian taxpayer needs to have a voice, isn't it? We feel that they really don't have a voice, and is there somebody who can really represent us? And thank Mr. Kumar, Mr. Raman for taking up the initiative to form this kind of an association. And I think right now they have about 20,000 plus members or so, and hoping to grow it to about 1 lakh by the end of the year. So that's the kind of momentum I think the ITP has gained, really by virtue of the kind of good work that they've done over the last more than 10 years since they began. And then more and more people want to be part of this ITP, and we want to be represented, we want to be heard, and then we would like the government to use whatever the taxes that we pay very responsibly, so that the development can happen. Otherwise, we pay taxes, the development doesn't happen, right? So that is what are the leakages, right? And so we would like to minimize on these leakages, and all of us want to really be responsible taxpayers. We really don't want to evade tax, etc. But yet at the same time, what we really expect in return is that the money should be well spent, right? And it really leads to the kind of development that the country very badly needs, because otherwise it's going to be difficult for us to uplift the people who are below the poverty line and to be able to reduce poverty. And that's why there is so much talk about GDP, the growth rate, etc. And of course, of late there's a lot of ambiguity about the calculation of the GDP itself. Day after day, we find there are questions being asked on how the GDP is computed, and the finance minister, the prime minister, and everybody in the finance minister have come back and respond saying that don't worry, the GDP is more or less the same, and all of us know that GDP is never very accurate, right? It is only approximate, and it will stay approximate but not very far away from what are the figures given. Okay? Therefore, the growth rates, right? These are the things that are really required, and it's really disturbing that of late we find that whatever the forecasted growth rates about maybe last year, 1819, I think we're going to be falling short, and it's going to have an effect in 1922. Maybe due to several reasons like GST, the demonetization, etc., have really affected business in a big way, and people are really trying to find out what are the coping strategies with respect to these sudden developments that took place and people got shocked. They're not prepared for it. So I was talking about things that happen suddenly. But being in business, right now, we need to be prepared for it. The risks and uncertainty are part of business, and therefore, whatever happens, right, we have made our investments, and we need to go on. And it's not just us. In a company, we employ about tens of thousands of people, maybe. And we have to take responsibility for all of them, their families, etc. And therefore, find out ways by which we're able to handle these kinds of issues, right? And that is where the quality of management comes in, and the kind of examples that Mr. Raman told us, right, with which, of course, he is personally involved, be it in Mumbai, be it in Coimbatore, be it in Kerala, etc., tells us the ways in which it is possible for us to find solutions to the kind of problems that companies face with respect to to profitability. Okay, not just profitability, including negative profits or being sick, etc., and being able to turn it around. So there are solutions. So therefore, you need to be positive. You need to be very sure that there are going to be ways of helping companies to come out of the red, as we say, and then to be able to go forward. That is what the management should be thinking in terms of. First of all, they are not supposed to let the company go into red, right? It has to be in black all the time. But in cases, right, where things are beyond your control, these things do happen, and then that is when you need to really find out now how best we're going to be handling this situation. And more importantly, right, if something is coming that's going to be drastically affecting you, you need to be preparing for it right now. Therefore, the job of management is to be able to see the future. And I think many managements are not spending adequate time to be able to look into the future, to be able to find out what might happen, what might hit them, right? From nowhere, as we say, and suddenly they find that they don't have a clue, they don't have a solution, whatever. But if only they had spent their time looking ahead and trying to find out what may happen, what is likely to happen, etc. Now, these are all the things that managements have to do. Nobody is going to be, very certain about what might happen, but yet we need to know what all might happen, etc. And of course, the chances of their happening, and if this happens, what we do. So in business, we talk about plan A, plan B, plan C, etc. Right? So, do you have a plan A? I mean, which you're implementing right now? Do you have also a backup plan, a plan B or a plan C, etc.? Therefore, you need to change track depending on whatever is happening from, let's say, a plan A to plan B, and still be going ahead. That is very, very important in a business. Therefore, you find that the business scenario today is extremely different from whatever Mr. Brown might have said, because he was one of the most sought after management consultants in Mumbai, etc. Right, and the kind of solutions he was able to find which are appropriate at that point of time. Today, you find that the business environment is very, very again, as you said, very different, and it's very, very fast changing. We are living in a era what is called as VUCA, VUCA, the volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. Volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. VUCA. That is the kind of era in which we are. Therefore, it tells you about the kind of discomfort that people are living with. Okay, and it's even more difficult to be able to manage a business given that things like this do happen. And again, we are living in an era what is called as disruption. Okay, disruption is something that really takes you by surprise, right? Things change overnight. We're talking about technological changes, right? Sorry. Now, maybe about 20, 30 years ago, if you're looking at technological changes, it is possible for you to find out what might happen next. We do also what is called as technology forecasting. Therefore, quite likely, if you're able to scan around and then find out what technologies are being employed in different parts of the world, then it is possible for you to say, yes, after 5 years or after 10 years, it will come into Indian market too. Okay. Therefore, you have that kind of time to be able to transit from your present technologies to the future technologies, and then you are there, etc. Okay. But today, we don't have the luxury of these kind of 5 or 10 years of preparation to move from one technology to the other. Okay, things change overnight, etc. And therefore, you find that an industry that was there flourishing, okay, maybe a year ago, suddenly doesn't have any takers. Okay, and the whole thing has changed. Therefore, it's very, very important for us to be keeping track of what really is happening, across the world. So when you're looking at, optimizing profits, right, whose responsibility is to maximize or optimize profits? Okay, is it the job of just the top management alone, or is it just the job of the finance department alone? Right, including the employees, senior level and the middle level employees that Sir spoke about. All of us need to take responsibility or ownership, as Mr. Suresh said, for the company's profitability. Right. Therefore, all of us have a stake in making sure that the company is able to optimize profits, and therefore all of us gain. As Sir also said, that the kind of cost that the company saves is shared with the employees. Right. Therefore, there is a reward. There is an incentive for the employees to contribute to the cost savings by the company, and if it does happen, right, then everybody benefits. Right. Therefore, as I said, the company has to take responsibility, and it has to make sure that it is profitable. And looking at profitable, we are not looking at profits in the short run. Okay, we are making sure that the company will be continuing to be profitable over a period of time. Not just profitable again, but improving the profitability. Okay. Therefore, you find that companies need to have the kind of a vision to be able to take the company from where it is today to where it is going to be in the next 5 years. As research said, if in 1 year, the turnover can increase 4 times from about 12, 13 crores to about 48 crores, right? If I'm planning for the next 5, 10 years, right, and different people will come up with different kinds of numbers, right? It all depends on how aggressive you are in terms of the extent to which you want to grow. We talk about what is called as the CAGR, or a compounded annual growth rate, right? Are you looking at about 5% to 10%? Are you looking at 20, 25%, etc.? So there is a great deal of difference between 10% and about 20% CAGR. If I'm going to look at it over the next 5 year tenure, it makes a lot of difference. Therefore, the vision of the management is to be able to find out where does it really want to take the company to. Okay, and if it does reach there, the kind of the profits that it will be able to generate, and what it is going to do with the profits. Okay, profits. Therefore, all of us are interested in making more and more and more profits, right? But it is also important on what the company does with the profits it makes, right? How it distributes the profits, the kind of amount that it retains, and then dividends that it declares, etc. Is also going to be part of the company's strategy. Right? Therefore, if you are planning for aggressive growth, then obviously you need to retain a lot more than you would like to distribute. But if your growth is limited by your own limitations, right, then obviously you'll be distributing more and then not retaining much, etc. Therefore, this also has to do with the kind of strategy that the company has. Is it going to follow a very aggressive strategy, or is it going to follow a very conservative strategy and be able to consider the wealth of the shareholders? The ultimate responsibility for the company is to maximize the wealth of the shareholders, as we say. But what really is going to help the company to maximize the wealth of the shareholders? Is it going to be by generating huge growth, or is it going to be by distributing more dividends from all the profits that you make, etc. Right? Therefore, you find that some companies, particularly the MNCs in the FMCG sector, they declare phenomenal dividends, 100%, more than 100%, etc., because they really don't have much of an investment to make, right? Because there are a lot of limitations. Market shares are high; they can't go beyond that. And again, as Shannon said, I would like to draw a parallel between what companies are trying to do and what they should be doing. Now, there is a relationship between sales and profits. As we talk about higher the sales, higher the profits, right? But then you find that at very high levels of sales, the profitability comes down because you need to spend more to be able to generate that kind of higher sales. And it's also very important for you to know where that sales is coming from. I think there was a question on the FMCG companies and the profitability analysis. Right? Today it is pretty easy for us to do all that. I'll just tell you. So, rather than trying to concentrate on reaching a sales of 60 crores and the profits of 5 crores, right? You prune down your sales, right? Be very clear about who are the customers you want to serve, not anybody and everybody. Therefore, even if the cost of the sales coming down to about 36 crores, right? It's possible for you to increase your profitability from 5 to 6 crores, right? So that's about 16% on sales, right? And that's very, very good, rather than 5 out of 60 crores. Okay. So you need to be doing these kinds of analysis to be able to find out what you should be doing. And again, this is not a one-time affair. You need to be doing this all the time. Today, you find that fortunately there is what is called as analytics, big data, the data science, as we are talking business analytics. So it can be a large company, it can be multi-product, it can have millions of customers, and it can be operating in several geographies. Okay, but yet, with the kind of data there is, right, it's possible for us to analyze customer-wise. Okay, the kind of profits that you're able to get from each one of those customers. Geography-wise, from which geography regions are you able to generate better profits? Product-wise, okay, from which product are you able to generate more profits, etc. If you're able to get these kinds of insights into product-wise profitability, customer-wise profitability, geography-wise profitability, then it is possible for you to identify which products you want to offer, to whom, where, etc., etc. And therefore, you find that with this analysis and the kind of decisions you take is certainly going to improve your bottom line. So you would know where the resources are getting wasted actually. Okay. Now, when you do this customer analysis, what happens is you find that some customers consume more. That means they cost a lot for you to service them. But in turn, their contribution to the company is much lesser. You're not getting much from out of what you're spending on servicing the customer. Also, there are customers for whom you're spending less, the consumption is less, but their contribution to the company is high. Therefore, when you do this analysis, then it becomes possible for you to identify who are the most precious customers and who are what are called the marginal customers, right? Who cost a lot for you to serve, and therefore you really may not lose much by not serving the marginal customers. In fact, large companies do this, that they do this in customer analysis and say, we will serve only these customers. We may not be able to serve these customers profitably. We can, it's not a big problem. But at what cost? That is where the opportunities for other companies are, okay, what are called the niches in the marketing context, right? Therefore, you find that different companies will have different strategies, they will have different customer mix, they'll have different product mix, and each one of them will have their own, profitability, right? So you need to be analyzing all these and then trying to take forward where the company should be reaching, as I said, whatever goal set, as Mr. Anand said, right? After 5 years, this is where I want to be, no questions asked, right? Okay. So keep going and find out, okay, are you reaching there? And if there is any problem, what are you going to be doing? Not after 5 years, but during the journey itself. That is very, very important. Now, one of the ideas that I wanted to share with you is about innovation. It's about innovation, right? Therefore, apart from trying to what is called as optimize profits, you must first of all be able to identify how you're going to generate the profits and then look at optimizing the profits, right? Today, everybody talks about the competition being very severe, the margins under pressure, and therefore, profitability being very, very difficult to achieve, etc. Again, companies think differently. Okay, we know that this is innovation, right? Again, there are what are called as the blue ocean strategies and the red ocean strategies. I don't want to make it very technical, right? Now, the blue ocean strategy is to do something entirely different from what the others are doing, so that you don't bleed like others. Red ocean is bleeding. Your company bleeds. Okay, because of competition, they are not able to cope with the competition, and everybody is suffering. But if you are doing something which is different from what the others are doing, you're following a different strategy, or coming out with a new product which nobody has even thought about offering, etc., the entire market is yours. And that is what is called as a blue ocean strategy, right? And you need to have an innovative mindset to be able to even think about these kinds of strategies. And it's not just innovation. Today we talk about what is called frugal innovation. The reason why I'm talking frugal innovation is we are talking about profits. Innovation can come, but at what cost is the innovation coming? And is that innovation contributing to the overall profitability? That is very, very important. Okay. Now, frugality is about containing costs. Okay, not being lavish, not spending unnecessarily on whatever you want to build, right? Therefore, this is a strategy, a frugal innovation strategy that the Indian mindset is very comfortable with. Basically, the Indians by nature are very, very frugal. We are not spendthrift. We save a lot of money, etc. Very extremely careful in what we buy and what price are we paying for what we buy, etc. Okay. Therefore, you found that there was a lot of work that was done on frugal innovation, and not only is it confined to India, it's gone outside. Okay. Now, frugal innovation basically is getting more from less. Frugal innovation is basically getting more from less. Therefore, how can I increase the value of what I'm offering to the customers, but yet at a lower cost? Okay. So this is what basically frugal innovation is, and once this concept got popular in the Western world, they started expecting more. They started expecting more. So today, what we say is frugal innovation is not just doing more with less. It's also doing more and better with less. Doing more and better with less, etc. So people are expecting better products. People are expecting better product, better performance, but at a lower cost. Okay, so they want to minimize on the cost, but yet they're expecting more, etc. And how you're going to deliver this to the customer would take a frugal mindset for you to do that. Okay. I'll just give an example of what this frugal innovation was. Okay. Now, there was a car that's called Logan, right? Now, you might know. It was introduced by Mahindra. Okay. Renault. Okay. Now, Renault basically is a French company, right? And you know about the French, the mindset, they're very lavish, luxury. Okay, for them, cost doesn't matter, etc. Okay. Okay. People can be like that, but the company has to survive in global competition. Okay, so there's a lot of pressure on the company, and they wanted to build a car, right, using this frugal concept, which they could take outside of the Western markets to countries like India. So the French designers, again, they come with very exotic ideas which would cost a pile to implement. So they were giving their ideas, but the car was getting built in Romania. Getting built in Romania with Romanian engineers, okay? And they had a frugal mindset. They are like Indians, right? Therefore, all those frills that the designers would have suggested ultimately got the cut, right? And they were able to build a Logan, okay, which cost about 5,000 euros or $6,000, right? Produced in India too. Initially, it was okay. Later on, it ran into some problems, right? And of course, I think the best example that we can think of in terms of frugal innovation would be from the house of Tatas, okay? The Nano that we can talk about. But Nano had problems of its own. Okay, in concept, okay, as an idea, it was great, but as a product, it failed in the marketplace. Okay, I think he tried to stretch frugality to the extreme, and that's where I think it gave way. So if only he had marketed a car on 1.5 lakhs initially, he could have. I don't, that was 1 lakh. If you thought about 1.5 lakhs, right, then he could have offered a car that the people not only afforded but were happy to ride, etc. Could have gone on. And then, when you're looking at ways by which we can reduce cost, the entire offshoring, the entire outsourcing industry comes into the picture. Okay? Therefore, you find that the multinationals, IBMs, whatever, right, in the IT space, they offshore, they outsource, okay, to Indian companies, right? TCS, Infosys, the Wipros, etc. Okay, were able to deliver whatever the quality which they expect, right, at a much lesser cost. Perhaps about 1/8 to 1/10 of the cost that it might cost to do it there. It's done here. But of course, thanks to technology, that whatever is produced here or done here can be taken there and offered. Okay, what is called as the GDM or the global delivery model. They can deliver across the globe sitting here. Okay, therefore it costs very, very little for the Indian engineer to be here to do it and then deliver a solution elsewhere and save a whole lot of cost, etc. Okay, and then more recently you'll find that Ford, which has been operating in India, now wants to leave the country. Okay, it has found that it's been losing market share. Many of its models did not do very well, etc. And now it's kind of tying up again with Mahindra, who came into India through the Mahindra type, Mahindra as it was called. Then they went alone. Now they are going to exit India, but then they will be having start with Mahindra. Okay, therefore they are working on certain models which they would like to bring into India. Therefore, you find that there is this kind of a collaboration that is taking place between talents, okay, across countries, right? And that is delivering great value to the customers. So, if you're able to look at these ways, these options that are available, then you are thinking different. You will come up with the different kinds of products whose capabilities can be much better, much advanced, right? And you're able to minimize on the cost, right? Produce anywhere in the world, wherever it is cheaper, more economical. Deliver anywhere in the world where you can get the highest price. That gives you the difference between revenue and cost. That is profits. And that if you're able to increase, then you're increasing the profitability. Ways to optimize your profits. Therefore, today's business is done very, very differently from the way it used to be. And all of us, right, as because I belong to a different generation, right? But all of you, I should say, most of you, right, are the ones who are going to be taking charge of companies, big or small, medium, and heading different departments. And you must be aware of all these kinds of verticals, all these kinds of options, and never feel threatened about what somebody is trying to tell you. Oh, this is too difficult. You can't do this. We are not going to be doing this. Nobody has done so what. Somebody has to do it, right? For everything, as they say, there is a first time. So you do it first time, you fail, maybe. So what? Right? You need to ask the question, right? I'll do it 10 times, right? There are n number of examples about people failing, but yet succeeding at the end, right? That's what really matters. This is the mindset. This is the mindset that the youngsters of today's India must have. Not to be cowed down by whatever the kind of challenges there are. There are enough and more of opportunities that are available, not just in India. But the thing is, if you restrict yourself to thinking about India, the Indian customers, right, you would have a problem. Think about the entire global market as the market that is available to you. Think global, act local as they say, etc. And you find that you will be the game changer. You will be the game changer. We are looking for game changers.